One of the big copes you always hear PC gamers come out with is this narrative that Steam has the most amount of games out of any video game platform ever, that everything's available on Steam, that it's the best platform for games in the world. And this is obviously not true, which I've expanded on several times. Most particularly, there are no Nintendo games on Steam, and Nintendo is the best in the industry. So, what this means is whatever is in the top 10 on Steam, Steam's all time best selling games are outsold, outperformed, outdone every week by the brand new Nintendo games. So the Nintendo top 100 on the eShop is far better than the Steam top 100. And I thought I would demonstrate that today by just breaking down the Steam's best-selling video games, the games on their platform, and starting from the top-selling games right now by revenue, Steam Deck. They are seriously kicking off their best-selling, highest revenue grossing thing by throwing the Steam Deck at number one. Now, we all know the Steam Deck is a complete failure, right? This thing has sold like 3 million units. Nobody cares about it. Nobody talks about it. This thing has been a complete total failure. And that is number one. Steam Deck is so irrelevant. It was outperformed by Switch 2 day 3. Okay. Like day 0. Nintendo Switch 2 was more relevant than the Steam Deck. So what this means is the number one thing in Steam's bestsellers list is not a piece of hardware, but it is a piece of hardware that we know has failed and is not competitive with the Switch 2. This alone by itself demonstrates that Steam is completely irrelevant because they are giving away the Steam Deck at at 320 bucks trying to get people to buy it, and it's still getting outsold by a Switch 1. Okay. Nobody is buying this hardware. And I've talked about before about how these sales numbers are fake, so it's probably not even number one on this list anyway. They're only shoving it up there because Valve is desperate to break into the hardware space because they know that there's no future in PC gaming. But yeah, Steam Deck is slop. Arc Raiders, nobody cares about it. Look at it. Like they have to sell it at reduced prices to get anyone to pay for it. Marvel Rivals, nobody cares. Marvel is the premium man-child brand and nobody cares about it. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is probably the worst Nintendo Switch exclusive ever produced. It's so lazy and it's so sloppy and it's not on Steam. And this is a very good example of just how Steam and platforms like it, mobile, are carried by licensed games. Marvel is only talked about because it's Marvel and it has nothing to do with its quality or with the games as a whole. Like, it isn't competitive. It is only popular because of the Marvel brand. Let's see, Cyberpunk 2077. Not only is this game on Nintendo Switch 2, it's also complete slop. I own it. I've played it. I can tell you that Cyberpunk 2077 is a complete disaster and is only hyped up because people are so desperate for CD Projekt Red to stay relevant. It's really pathetic. It's very sad, and yet that's what we've been seeing over the past several years. Battlefield 6, no one cares. Counter-Strike 2, no one cares. Where Wild Winds Meet, no one cares. Dispatch, no one cares. Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlord, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Okay. So when the highest game on your top 100 list is Sonic Racing Crossworlds, is a game that was, first of all, outperformed by Mario Kart World and Kirby Air Riders, but also is also available on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 and outperformed this version. Why? We know that right now there's about like 20,000 people playing Sonic Racing Crossworlds online. Probably not even that many. That's how it was a couple of months back. But like Sonic Racing Crossworlds has like, I don't know, roughly about 20,000 players, which isn't a lot, but uh 20,000 people are playing this game. Like, that's how few people have bought and played this game in the top 10. That's how irrelevant Steam is. If Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which is a notorious bomb on Nintendo consoles, cracks the top 10 in Steam, that goes to show you just how irrelevant Steam actually is. So Sonic Racing Crossworlds is a complete joke and nobody cares about it. Okay. So Risk of Rain 2, no one cares. Mountain Blade 2. Wait a minute. So a DLC expansion is on there? Oh, wow. Yeah, so they have to pad this out with DLC expansions. Wow. Apex Legends, also on Switch. No one cares. Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. Yeah, so, oh, oops. Okay. So this top 100 list is getting padded out by DLC and expansions. That's just the reality of it, is that this list has nothing on it. They are putting DLC and expansions on there to pad it out and to make it look more competitive than it actually is. Let's see. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Yeah. So not only is the Warhammer 40K IP complete slop and one of the worst things in nerd culture right now, but like, the fact of the matter is, this game completely came and went. Nobody cares about it. Nobody remembers. Space Marines are complete slop. The Imperium would shit and piss its pants if it had to go up against, like, say, the X Parasite in Metroid Fusion. That's just the reality of Warhammer 40K, is that it's just it's just try hard fantasy for edgy teenagers. It's for something for, like, weirdos to, like, obsess over the lore for, when the lore makes no sense and it's inherently contradictory, and it's just really dumb. Okay, so Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. Okay, so I own Ghost of Tsushima on Steam. I've played it. I can tell you this game is slop. It's not good. Nobody cares for it. It's just a very good example of just how, you know PlayStation isn't impressive. Okay, PlayStation sucks. It's better than Steam. Like, when the biggest games on Steam are PlayStation exclusives, that's how you know you don't have anything going for you. Because if Ghost of Tsushima is, like, one of the highest grossing games on your platform, you have a problem. This game came out in 2019, and yet people are still, like, trying to, like, to hype it up. Let's see. EA Sports Football Club. Yeah, the FIFA knockoff, nobody cares. Yeah, already, like, first of all, I believe that's on Switch 2 anyway, so that's the more successful platform for sure. But yeah, this is yeah, EA Sports, complete joke. Doom the Dark Ages. Wow. So one of the big notable bombs of 2025, Doom the Dark Ages, not even nominated for Game of the Year. It was so irrelevant. Yeah, this thing is at 50% off. Not even, like, what, 6 months after launch. Unbelievably cringe. That's just awful. NBA 2K26, no one cares. Solo leveling. Wow. A stupid Korea Boo game. This is not a manga series. This is a Korean product. It's based on a manhwa, I believe. So yeah, nobody cares about that. Warframe, no Warframe. Nobody cares. Oh, that is on Switch though. It is on Switch. Nobody cares. Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, one of the worst sequels ever made. One of the most overhyped games ever. Um, like, Animal Crossing New Horizons just destroyed this. This is complete slop, and honestly, is just unbelievably cringe. The fact that they have to sell this at $15 just goes to show you how this game had no momentum long term. Animal Crossing New Horizons sold, like, about as much, but, like, at full price, which just goes to show you just how much bigger and better Animal Crossing is than any Rockstar game. But anyway, yeah. So Red Dead 2, I believe it's been confirmed for a Switch 2 port, actually. So yeah, so that's going to be coming to Switch 2 eventually. Risk of Rain 2, another DLC, nobody cares. EA Sports, no one cares. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Okay. The biggest failure among Call of Duty ever. Like, this is a clear demonstration of just how there is no future in COD or PC gaming, because I remember when COD was supposed to be like the thing to get a gaming PC for. And I remember getting my gaming PC. I remember buying Advanced Warfare. I remember going online and I remember being shocked at how it was completely dead. Nobody was playing Advanced Warfare on PC when I bought it. And in the end, I had to refund it because I wasn't able to play COD. The Elder Scrolls 4, wow. You know, remember when this was supposed to be the big new game of the year? Unbelievable. Yeah. Talk about cringe. Nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody remembers. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. you know, a big failure. A game that's also on Switch. One of the most overhyped games in recent memory, I would say. The books suck. The Netflix series sucks. Like CD Projekt Red sucks. Like this is one of the worst things to ever happen to video games in my mind, and it's probably the last time we'll ever see some random AAA dark fantasy IP from like some Western studio get like the same kind of attention and praise. Because now that Zelda is getting a live action movie, and now like we're in a post Breath of the Wild world, it's going to be more and more difficult to gaslight people into thinking that like some random AAA product is better than Zelda. Yeah, Elden Ring is a really good example. Like Elden Ring has not eclipsed Breath of the Wild in relevancy, which is crazy because the industry like gassed it up, I think, almost as much as this. But anyway, Hogwarts Legacy. Okay. Also on Switch 2. It's been super successful on both. Never played it. I don't want to play it. One of these days I probably will, just so I can review it and talk about the lore and why it doesn't work. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, but like I have absolutely no faith in this product whatsoever, and I did not want to support it in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, there we go. Destiny 2, okay, one of the worst games ever made. Uh, yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, yeah, nobody cares. Marvel Spider-Man, another cringe Marvel slop. Grand Theft Auto 5, nobody cares. The Sims 4, nobody cares. Dying Light, The Beast, Rust, no one cares. Marvel Spider-Man 2, no one cares. How is it a Spider-Man game when you don't play as Spider-Man? That's just ridiculous. Yeah, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, nobody cares. They have Witcher 3 on here twice. That's cringe. That's embarrassing. That's just bad. Let's see. Helldivers 2. Cringe. Absolutely shit. Nobody cares. Nobody remembers it. It's just the latest meme game in a long stream of meme games that the industry desperately wants to become popular. Let's see. Stellar Blade, confirmed to be coming to Switch 2, and nobody cares. Maple Story, nobody cares. Steam Deck docking station. Wow, so they're ripping off the Nintendo Switch dock too. Unbelievable. Company of Heroes 3, Halo, the Master Chief. So wait. If the Steam Deck has a dock, what exactly is the purpose of the Steam machine? That doesn't make any sense. Like if it has a dock, then like why are they even producing the Steam machine anyway? But anyway, Company Heroes 3, nobody cares. Halo, nobody cares. Wow. They have to give it away. Oh, wait, hang on. Oops. They have to give away Halo at $10. The entire relevant Halo saga for $10 to try and keep this thing alive. Wow. And like, let's be real, people are only buying this for nostalgia. I own it out of nostalgia, but like Halo is just it's a dead IP. I'm glad to see it die. It was just slop. Okay, Euro Truck Simulator, cringe. American Truck Simulator, cringe. War Thunder, cringe. Arc Raiders, Escape from Tarkov, nobody cares. Ready or Not, nobody cares. What's with all these generic names? They don't even like seem like real products. They seem like the kind of generic games that like sitcoms of the 2000s would just make up. Like that's kind of my mindset looking at this list. Let's see, where were we? Silent Hill F, just feminist propaganda, not nearly as relevant as other Silent Hill games. Yeah, 20% off already, and it released at 70. So yeah, that's already a dead game. Company Heroes 3, Silent Hill 2, nobody cares. Inferior to the original. I believe that's confirmed to have a Switch 2 version as well. Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Switch 2. Borderlands 4, nobody cares, coming to Switch 2. Baldur's Gate 3. Look at how far Baldur's Gate 3 has fallen. This is supposed to be one of the best-selling games of all time, and yet it's not even consistently in the top 20. Unbelievable. Talk about cringe. Talk about unbelievable. It is getting outperformed by Girls Frontline 2. Unbelievable. Okay, so Battlefield Red Sec, God of War, cringe, Disney Dreamlight Valley, Magic, Metal Gear Solid, Forza, Dead by Daylight, Fallout 76, God of War Ragnarok, Yuma Sume. Okay, I don't like hearing about Uma Sume ever, and I'm glad to see it like becoming irrelevant so fast. But this is the kind of stereotypical like weeaboo shit that I just cannot stand. Like I do not want to see stupid like cutesy kawaii like ironic bullshit like this ever again. Like you can fuck right off with this. So yeah, that shit was cringe and it's everything wrong with Steam in general. Let's see. RimWorld, nobody cares. Euro Truck Simulator, Dark Souls 3, Black Desert, Hearts of Iron 4, Guild Wars 2, Master Duel. Okay, one of my favorite games, but it's on Switch too. It's on Switch. Horizon, absolutely one of the worst IPs of the last decade. Elder Scrolls Online, Blueprints, Fallout 4, Black Ops, Wuthering Waves, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Wow. So out of the 3 Spider-Man games on this list, the Miles Morales one is at the bottom. I wonder if there's a reason for that. I wonder if there's a reason that nobody wants to play as Miles Morales in a Spider-Man game. But Once Human, Final Fantasy 16, Anno 117, Detroit Become Human, Vane, Elden Ring. Holy shit, Elden Ring is like about to leave the top 100. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, The Last of Us Part 1, not 2, but The Last of Us Part 1, and The Planet Crafter. So to recap, the highest grossing thing on this list, the Steam Deck, which is on sale right now, by the way, that thing is getting handedly outperformed by the Switch 2. You know, it is safe to say that like every single major Nintendo Switch 2 game that comes out, whether it's like Kirby Air Riders or Prime 4 or like, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World especially, like all of that is doing way better than this. Like that's kind of my takeaway looking at this. That's kind of my takeaway like looking at this Steam like all of this is just complete slop that has no momentum behind it, that's not relevant, that's not competitive, and also has no reason not to be on Nintendo console. Not every game is on this list is on Nintendo yet, but they're going to come eventually. And because like the Nintendo exclusives that are never going to come to PC are so much better in general, like why exactly would I ever bother with this when I could just wait for the Nintendo version? That's kind of my takeaway looking at this is that like all of this looks like complete and total slop. And we do need to address that. We do need to bring this up. And like Steam just isn't competitive. When your best selling games include like 2 different versions of The Witcher 3, like you have a problem. If you have The Last of Us Part 1 in the top 100, you have a problem. If you have the Steam Deck as your number one highest grossing thing on the Steam store, you have a problem. Like this isn't a platform that's competitive with Nintendo. This is something that is only propped up by free to play games and terminally online weirdos. Like this is the reality of the PC Master Race is that nothing they do is as competitive or relevant than what Nintendo does.